Welcome. It's your boy Polo the King, 4-star general in the building with Shell. Look here. This is a pleasure. I am in the studio. I look here. This guy that made my week, man. I am for the first time in a live studio. As y'all can see the background. This is gonna be a wonderful time right here. I'm telling y'all. And so let's go ahead and get this started. Tell them who you are.
My name is Shell, like a seashell, or the gas station. You are in Crown Studios, sort of. You're live streaming to see Crown Studios. And we are in Palm Springs.
All right. Now, tell the listeners where you're from and how you got to be in Jackson.
So I'm from Papua New Guinea. It's an island that's just north of Australia. Well, that's where I grew up. And then we moved to the U.S. My family moved in 06.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been here probably, I guess, you do the math. I've been here longer than I was over there, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I went to school in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And my wife and I moved back down to Jackson about 5 years ago.
Okay. And what was the reason for moving?
The music is probably the biggest reason.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some family down here, and that's nice to have that network. But I'm excited about the scene here. I'm excited about the music that's here.
How long have you been in the music industry?
That's a little bit of a tricky question for me personally, because I always explain it like this. You don't really remember learning to speak your first language. So in that way, like, I don't really remember being around music. It's always kind of been a part of me. So as far back as I can remember, I mean, we had guitars at the house, or different instruments, or I was terribly trying to sing. I'm not a singer. It took me a while to find that out. But music kind of always been a part of my life in that way.
Okay then. How long has Crown Studios been around?
Crown Studios, under the name Crown Studios, we got our LLC 4 years ago. Before that, I was doing work, lots of studio work, but just not under the moniker of Crown. And before that, even I did a lot of scoring and different things. So it was sort of like a natural transition. And Crown is fun. I'm gonna take a second on this if you don't mind. So
go ahead.
But it's funny. Crown is typical, I think, of a lot of people's like visions or goals for something they set out to accomplish, and that people will get on board with that at different stages. And so it's, for some people, for me, when I hung XLR with a crappy condenser mic over my bunk bed at my parents' house, and someone gave me $60 and I made a song. For me, I knew that this was a reality, and that I was on this journey. So for me, it's always been the journey more so than the destination of where I'm going. So Crown has, and if you think about it that way, Crown is sort of the culmination of from the whole time I've been around until now. So there's that aspect of it, but then there's also the aspect of being like this being the only thing that I'm doing. That's been like 4 years. I've been full time in the music industry. Before that, I did a lot of side jobs.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What is it that you actually like? What would you call yourself? Like, are you like a producer? Are you a mixer? Like, what is it like?
Record ninja.
Yeah. Record ninja. Wow.
Actually, I also want to take a second on this, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
This is exciting. We're getting into really those two things I really want to talk about. And this is one of them, is also the misconception between what a producer does these days and what like a composer or a songwriter does. They are very different. Essentially, you can think of it as somebody who, like a producer, he may be involved in making a beat, but to think of a beat maker and a producer in the same, I'm not sure how that happened. I'm not sure how those comes, because essentially a producer could work with a beat maker or a scorer in the same way that a producer works with an artist in the booth to get the best vocal performance. So really all the producer is doing is taking the vision of the artist. Like really it should, in my opinion, when an artist works with what we're calling a producer in this day and age, is more so two artists working together rather than an artist and a producer working together on that track. And so then what a producer in the old school sense of that word would do comes into that equation and goes, okay, I see where the beat maker, the composer is going with this idea. I'm going to help him get to this place where he can, when he hears it play back, it's what his vision was in his head. That's all a producer's trying to do, is help you actualize the vision that's in your head. And if that's across the board. So that could be somebody who's making the beat, that could be a guitarist, that could be a songwriter, that could be a vocalist. So that what a producer does changes depending on the project. But I think that's something that should be cleared up a little bit. It's a misconception to think that producer is synonymous with a scorer or a beat maker or a music director. Those are not synonymous roles. Sometimes there's overlap. But I hope that was somewhat, I hope to shed a little bit of light on that. I hope that was useful information.
I can tell you take your craft very serious. Yes.
I feel super fortunate and blessed to get to wake up and do this every day. I love what I get to do. Or sometimes I don't wake up and do it. Sometimes I just don't sleep. We're going to be honest about it. But
yeah, clearly.
But in that instance, like none of that is to make more or less of anything. They're different roles. And so we are making the best records when, as a community, that everybody that's involved in that record making process plays to their strengths. And so I think it's so important to play to your strengths and not try to play all of the positions. Play the position you're excellent at, and find the person who's excellent at the position that you don't have the strengths in. Mm-hmm. And so when you surround yourself with people who have strengths in what maybe your weaknesses or things that you're not as strong in, what happens is you set yourself up for achieving excellence. If I really think that that's the only way that you get to like a cut above, is when you're willing to be humble enough to go, this person is excellent at this thing that I would. It takes a little bit of humility to go. It's better for the artist if I don't try to make this beat. If I let the producer or the beat maker, again, it's difficult right now, but if I let this person do this part and I focus on what my job is, I'm the mix engineer, so I focus on making the mix perfect. So you play to your strengths, and I think that what happens when you do that is you get a better end product, you get a stronger end product, because more people are able to put their soul or their stamp on it before it gets done.
Sounds like a plan. That sounds like some of these artists need to hear, and that's what it's all about. Let's see what else we got. Is there a difference in working with studio artists or working with a live band? Is there a difference?
Do you mean like live tracking a band versus multi-track? I'm just trying to understand the question.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So in this environment, like if I'm trying to understand, like between like we were multi-tracking a record, like doing the drums first or doing the parts separate, or are we like tracking at the same time? Like live tracking. Yeah, there is a difference. Definitely. I think there's something cool that happens when you live track. There's a connection that happens. Artists kind of feeding off of each other, and there's a vibe that happens that I don't know that I've ever experienced able to be like reproduced with multi-tracking. That being said, there's a precision that you can get when you're multi-tracking that you can't get when you're live tracking. So there's a trade-off, and every record you just have to pick what is going to be the best representation of your vision for that record. So sometimes the vision is served best by live tracking. Other times the vision is not served best by live tracking. It's better to take the time to do each element individually.
So it has its pros and its cons.
Definitely. And I mean every different aspect is different too. So like, you know, when you're making a record, that's very different from when you're performing the record on stage. And so you know, I did a lot of front of house engineering, but mixing a live show is completely different from mixing a record that you're going to hear on the radio. They're not even close to being the same approach. You got to change the way that you're approaching that completely. I think that that's really healthy across the board. Every situation you should approach it. If you're ever just like pulling up a plug-in preset for a mix, or I mean, you should really question whether or not you should be doing this, because everything you should approach with the same like care and intentionality and like tenacity for excellence. So it should never. I don't think any two songs are ever the same. I think you should really approach everything piece of history that you're being a part of.
Okay, then. I'm just mind blown by what I'm learning right now. That's all. Just don't mind my look and my facial expression. I'm just taking a lot of stuff in.
I appreciate that.
This is wonderful. Is there a way that you can tell if an artist that you're working with has the potential to be great from your side?
I might get this a little bit from my mom, but I feel like one of the character traits that I might have picked up from my mom is I feel like I'm pretty good at catching somebody's vibe from the start. So with that being said, I feel like when somebody walks into this space, I can usually know pretty quickly, and I can't explain the reasoning behind that. It's just like a gut.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you are surfing and you're waiting for the right wave, and you look out and the waves are coming in, and you go, that's not quite it, that's not quite it. Something hits your gut, and it's like, this one, I need to jump on this wave, it's gonna take me all the way in. There's no science behind that, but you know it. You ride that one in. So it's that kind of it's that same kind of thing where I think it's really important to trust your gut. So when someone comes in here, we're really not a place, like we're very deliberately not a place that you as an artist would come, give money, receive a product. I don't want this to be that. I want this to be an experience where you come and you develop yourself as an artist, and you take that next step towards career sustainability as an artist. So with that in mind, because I'm going to invest so much of myself in Crown, with other people, other resources that come through here, we're all investing so much in each record. And so because of that, we don't market, we don't do walk-ins, we don't have an hourly rate, and we probably make a lot less money because of this approach. But at the end of the day, I'm not concerned with. I don't do this because I'm trying to make money. I do this because I've at some point realized that my dream and my vision was to help actualize other people's dreams and visions. So if I'm going to commit to putting 110% or more, 200% of myself, that's time you can't actually do that. So if I'm going to give all of myself 100%,
I understand what you're saying.
But like if I'm going to put everything I've got to make your record sound exactly like what your vision is, it's not so that you can pay me and so that I can give you a record. It's so that we can together help you reach your fans, help you actualize the vision that's in your head. And if I'm going to commit so much of myself to make that happen, I don't want to do that to somebody that's not also that committed to their own career.
Wow. That's the same stuff I be talking about. And that's the same. You have a lot of artists out here that they claim that they want to be artists. And this doesn't even go just for hip hop. This goes for any type of music, but you can tell that they're not willing to put in the work, and that they're just basically there for the limelight. And you're messing for people who are taking it serious. You're messing with their work, and that's just.
Think about it, an artist may produce 5-7 albums in their career. So if they come in here and they're willing, they come in here and they're open and like becoming vulnerable and becoming at peace in the space, and we're trying to create an excellent record that encapsulates their vision, their soul on that record. We're talking about maybe 1/5 of their career. We're talking about, if it's their second record now, we're 2/5 into their career. This is not a light matter. This is heavy, and we should take it very seriously.
Yeah.
It's
I agree with you on that. Wow, that's definitely agree with you on that. What's your favorite type of music to produce, if you have?
I really don't. I'm a little bit not diagnosed, so I mean no offense to anybody, but I think I have some ADD tendencies. I get distracted very easily, so it's healthy for me. I like bouncing around and hitting a bunch of different styles. Like right now we've got a soul pop record in the works. We just finished a hip hop record. We just started a hip hop record. We're doing a rock record. We got 2 praise and worship records that are in the pipeline, and we've got an EDM record that we're in production for. So like we bounce all over the place, and I'm that way on purpose, because I just ain't one thing too long. I feel like I'll start spinning wheels and developing habits that are not keeping me fresh. So I try to like stretch and stay fresh and stay creative. And I do that by like bouncing around and doing a lot of different things.
That sounds. I mean, if that's the way you stay focused, then I guess that's how you got to do it.
And it does come back a little bit to what we talked about with strengths. if I feel like a project is not going to be served best by what we can offer at Crown, I won't hesitate to let the artist know that and try to connect them with the people that can help them the most.
That was going to ask you if you had like ever been like in the works and doing a project and you felt like you just like you and the artist wasn't meshing.
So I'm so confident in what we can do at Crown that I would never feel bad about it. If I feel like it's a good fit, committing to it, get started on it, and then figuring out if it's a good fit for the artist as we go. What I would not ever want to do is start a project, feel like it's not a good fit, and then have to take the money from the artist and need to keep working on the project. That would make me depressed as a person, because I'm at that point I'm not helping them with their career, and I'm not getting my fulfillment. Because I'll be honest, we don't make a lot of money at Crown, and I do this because I bleed it. This is my passion, and so we make enough to survive. But if I'm gonna be at where our rates are at what we do for me to make a living where we're at, if I'm gonna be doing that and not enjoying what I'm doing, then I would burn out probably. But because I'm working on projects that I love, I can afford to do that.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Hope that answers your question.
Oh, it did. It definitely did. So well, you answered that question. Definitely already answered that one. So what project are you like in the moment working on right now? You said hip hop.
Yeah. Off camera, I think I told you I might dodge some of these. And the only reason is I don't want to offend anybody. Okay. Sometimes I can talk about it, sometimes I can't. We just finished up a record. I talked to the manager and got okay to talk about it, but we just finished up like the Cherry Blossom record. I'm really amped about that. That's coming out on the 19th, I believe. Okay. That's going to be a really great record. We've got, like I said, a couple more that are in the pipeline, but without talking to the artist specifically, I wouldn't want to.
That's understandable.
We did. You should also check out Seth's record. He's got a new record that's going to come out very soon. I'm really amped about that one. That's going to be really, really
good. Who's it again?
Seth Power. We just did a record for JSCO that I think is really strong as well. That's another band, but that's a really.
What's the name again?
JSCO and Seth Power. But both of those are great records that are they're just through the pipeline. And I'm gonna stop because I know I'm gonna I'm so excited about so many of them. And if I get, you might have to. I don't know if we can even edit that out because it's live. But what I'm afraid of is I'm so amped about all the records that are coming through here, and like we've spent so much time saying, I love every project. That there, to me, as the producer and engineer, there is an element where if you are an artist working here, we are 100% committed to your vision for your project. But sometimes it is lost, it's forgot that artist is 100% focused on their career and their project. But I have got to juggle 4 or 5 projects or 6 projects or 7, whatever's going through the pipeline currently. And I have to be pouring just as much of myself into every one of those projects. So I'm always walking that line, always trying to make sure nothing falls through the cracks, and that if somebody comes in last night, they get every bit as much of me as the person that comes in tonight, as the person that's coming in tomorrow, and that every project receives 100% of my attention. And that can be a tough juggling act, but yeah, so that's why I'm hesitant to throw names out there, because I may forget something and I would feel terrible.
Let me ask you this: what do you think about the state of Mississippi music as it is right now?
I think it's a really exciting time. I would use the same analogy that I said earlier. I use it all the time when I explain why I feel like my wife and I have to be here, why Crown needs to be in Jackson. I'm ridiculously excited. The caliber of projects that come through that are currently in the pipeline that we released recently, it's kind of uncanny. It's really cool. I'm super amped about it. I'm really excited about the projects that are coming through right now. I think it's strong. I really do.
So you actually think that there is actually some talent in the state of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's always good to hear, because I feel like
I'm gonna throw one more check out. You'll write this, Judson Wright. His Lay Low single just came out.
What's the name?
Judson Wright. Check that shit out, dude. All right, I'm done. No more. I apologize. I'm sorry if I forgot anybody, but you gotta check this thing out. It's fire.
Okay. What's the name of the single?
Lay Low.
Okay.
You're gonna get me in so much trouble with this shit.
No. Okay. So what I was saying was, I feel like as people that listen to music in the state, we tend to always listen to other people from out of state, you know. And a lot of times I get, I'm using the Google Play app and I can't find them on there, which I always tend to say is a bunch of BS, because I use Google Play. And if you really want to support the music that's coming from this city, all you have to do is type it in. And if you really want to support any type of artist, that's any type of music, all you really got to do is just Google them. Mm-hmm. I mean, 9 times out of 10, they on social media somewhere. Mm-hmm. Hit them up, inbox them, DM them, say, hey, I'm trying to listen to your music. And, you know, that's basically what my show is about. I just want to be a platform for Mississippi musicians, period, man, because I feel like Mississippi musicians don't get the credit that they deserve. I mean, it's some talent, it's some good music that's coming from Mississippi. But I also feel like some artists, when they get to a point and they leave, they forget where they come from. And I'm trying to put a stop to that the best way I can.
I agree with that. And I think building right off of that, I think it's also important that as artists here, to be people listen to music they like. And so the creativity that you put into creating your music, you should put that same amount of creativity into the way that you engage with that music. The creativity can't stop here. I love what we're doing at Crown, but it is like, and you know, we may be making a record that's, you know, maybe a fifth of an artist's career, but at the end of the day, we are a percentage of that artist's career. I mean, you've got the live show, you've got the social media engagement, you've got the press stuff, you've got like hopefully community involvement that artists are doing. So there's so many facets to an artist's career, and we are a facet when we make records. We're not the only facet. But when we're in here, it's real easy to be creative. It's real easy to catch the vibe and be creative and get in the zone. But what cannot happen is you can't leave from making a record and switch your creativity off. As an artist, it should consume you. Your creativity should be everything. It should be how you wipe your butt when you're taking a shit. It should be fucking creative. Be creative. And if it's excellent, then you don't have to convince people to listen to it. You shouldn't be trying to sell your music to people. People should want to listen to it because it's that good. Be that good.
Which brings back to what you said, it's the work and the creativity that you put in. And when people listen to it, even if it's for the first time, they can tell that you can put some work and some thought into it, and that's gonna make them come back or even search for the more music that you have.
Look, I didn't mean to cut y'all out, but like that's what I hate when people say like you're a rapper, because it's like more than just rapping. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. You have to brand yourself. You have to be, like he said, be different, be custom, basically. You know what I mean? And it takes way more than just pen.
I know artists that are really locked in and they're really living their journey now. They're working on it now. Those are the guys that they're fasting for a couple months before they go and hit the gym heavy because they're about to go on tour. And they know when they're on that stage, they can't be out of breath. They got to hit every single word. Those are the people that are serious. And when you think about having a career in music, it's not different from any other career you could be in. Yep. If you're not logging a minimum of 40 hours, you're not working full time at what you want to do. And you can't come to me and say, hey man, I really want to be an artist. I really want to have a career in this, and tell me that you didn't practice your shit 40 hours that week. Are you even serious? Do you really want this? I don't care. I don't know if there's a week that I haven't worked 80 hours by Friday. I feel guilty if that happens. Yeah. What do you want? Make a sacrifice. If you really want it, get out there and do the work that it takes to do it. Practice. If practice means you're by yourself in your bedroom with your headphones on and you wore that verse out, do it. Be that good. That's what it takes. Be that good.
Which brings me back to what the performance. You know, I feel that now in this day and age, performance is slacking in artists. It's like they just on the stage, they got the mic in their hand, and they just barely singing or rapping or whatever. And it's like there's no performance. You know, like I'm gonna use a prime example. Aerosmith. They're 80 years old. They've been performing, and they're still touring and performing the same old songs over. And there are no new songs. They're performing the same songs over and over again. Why? Because they have a stage presence. Them guys, they great granddaddies. When they get out there, they go ham, and that's why people pay to see them.
Yep.
They're
You know who's like that?
old.
I'm not trying to name that, but Bobby Rush is that way.
Yeah,
That
he's
guy,
like,
it fucking kills it.
and then he goes over his set. He will tell you he's gonna go over his set, and doesn't care.
I've been able to mix for him, and there's no gimmicks to that. He is back in every bit of that.
My brother made beats for Bobby Rush.
They say when you go to one of his shows, it's don't have no plans to go nowhere after that, because there's no telling when it's gonna be over with. Seriously,
He's something else, man.
and so that's what I mean. That's what's lacking with these up and coming artists, man. I feel like somebody needs to send them to
It's
class.
misinformation. People think that something's going to happen and make a single, and somebody's going to throw some money their way. There is none of that. You're in the wrong industry if you're in this industry to make some money, because there may be money, but it's in like the top percentage of the rest of us are in here for the passion. We're in here, we're grinding out every single day. The people who are making careers like this are grinding out every day. And what's beautiful is if you were made to do this, it doesn't wear you out. But if you're not, if you put that time in and you're exhausted, maybe it's not for you. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
What do you really want? Don't say you want it and don't be ready to put in the work to get it.
I feel you on that, and also I feel what's also missing down here is artists supporting each other. It doesn't make a difference if let's say for instance you're in the hip hop, you got another artist down here that's have performing the show. Let's say for instance he's doing rock or alternative, whatever. Y'all are all in this together. You're all artists. It should be a problem for you to show up at his event and to support him, and vice versa, because at the end of the day, we all want Mississippi music. I know y'all get tired of me saying this. We all want Mississippi music to flourish. And the only way that's going to happen is if these artists come together and unify and support each other. Because you can't expect the people in the community to support each other, to support y'all, if y'all artists ain't supporting each other. And that, I feel strong about that, like, for real.
Yeah.
And that's just, how you feel about that?
I mean, I agree. I think it just comes right back to if you are not, if you say one thing and you do another thing, what's the term? I mean, Jesus probably said it best. You know, a tree by its fruit.
Yeah.
So if you say one thing, then you should have some works or some action that follows that through. That's just life. If you say one thing and you don't bear fruit for that, then I mean, people will recognize that, and you won't ever make it to the next level if that's how you're trying to live, because people are attracted to authenticity. And so if you are not authentic, then it sets off some subliminal radar. People know that fast. I mean, people are not stupid. They'll know that fast. They'll listen to your song and know, oh, he didn't feel it that day. He was reading the lyrics that day. He didn't have it memorized. People will know that fast. You can't hide it. It comes out.
It does. That's just, I know people get tired of me saying that's just like with singing or rapping over your vocals when you're having events. That's, but you feel like you deserve to get, like you want to get paid to perform, but to me, that's not being true to the art. It's like you cheating.
Mm-hmm.
It's like cheating. You want me to pay you a certain amount, but you're not really performing, which Kamikaze says it best. If that's the case, I can just buy your CD, sit in my truck, put the CD in there, and look at your picture on the cover. If that's what I'm gonna do.
I love like that.
I mean, he says it all the time. He says it best. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of respect for him.
And I feel the same way, especially if I'm paying $20, $30 to come see you, man. I could use that $20. At this point in time, $20 that's Pampers for me and wipes. You know what I'm saying?
I can relate to that. At this
just,
point, I mean, that's a cat food. And that, I mean, if I don't feed them, they might eat me. So
hey, cats keep snakes and rats away from the house. So you know, hey, that's how they go. But hey, I think this was a great experience for me to learn and hear a lot what goes on inside of the studio.
I'm really excited for the opportunity. Like anything positive that's happening in the scene right here, I love it. I want to be a part of it. I like that.
Man, that's what we need. That's what we need, like so much, man. And that's like part of I feel like that's what I drive off, man. It's like I don't have the talent to sing, to rap, to produce, to mix, none of that. I wish I did, because it looks like a whole lot of fun. It really does.
I think it is. Yeah.
So I just use what I have, man, and I'm just this is me, and this is what I do. And I really appreciate you taking that time. And I know you're a busy man. And
I appreciate that.
Look here, we will be my guy right here, Muka Montana, will be editing the video of the tour of the studio. So y'all give him some time. And look here,
It'll be out in 10 minutes.
Look, bruh, look, see, I ain't say it. So, you know, that's him saying it. But this was a total experience for me, and I feel blessed, man, like so much. Like, wow, like, for real. And this, before I go, if you're serious about your art, y'all need to stop getting these internet beats. You need to invest in yourself and invest into some real studio. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna make your music sound so much better. The vibe of a real studio. I'm not even an artist, but I don't even want to go home. But on that note, I'm done.
Thank you.
I'm done, and I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Polo the King live show, 4-star general, and I appreciate him taking so much time out. And we out. We done. This right here.